Live in 2. Greetings, Spear Beings, greetings, Supreme Being, welcome to Universal Peace Television. This is the broadcast. National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster called the Iran deal, quote, fundamentally flawed, unquote, CNN article review. So one point I usually start off with is that it may just be a matter of giving them a list of suspect sites and then they will do the inspections. And Israel has missile shields anyway, so I don't think Iran can pose any threat, not even with nuclear weapons. So it may be about something else in reality, depopulating Earth to 500 million and creating a Luciferian global government to rule the world from Jerusalem, Zion. And it's better to prepare yourself with that gas mask and storable food. There is no good reason not to be prepared for this shit. And let's read the article. And I have advised the Iranians to allow the inspections to avoid World War III. President Trump to first have an agreement with President Putin before bombing any facilities to avoid a thermonuclear world war. And there was a third point. But first, let's read the article.
H.R. McMaster, Iran nuke deal is fundamentally flawed, by Daniela Diaz, CNN. Updated 1502 GMT, 2302 HKT, September 21, 2017.
Okay, there's a video with it, so let's try to play that.
Were you one of the authors of Rocket Man as a way to describe Kim Jong-un? Do you think that kind of rhetoric helps?
Well, it's an accurate term. I mean, this is someone who has compromised everything for his nation in the pursuit of this capabilities. He is everything for his nation in the pursuit of this capabilities. He is disadvantaging his own people every day by investing, is what the president said, a suicide mission.
So usually these CNN videos don't play well. I already said, let's see if it will play.
I know what the decision is, but when the president reveals that, when he talks about it, he'll place it in context of the broader approach to Iran and what we have to do as a nation to protect our people, but what we have to do with our allies and partners to really prevent Iran from continuing this very destabilizing behavior, the threat to Israel, the seeding, the flow of these very destructive weapons through this clandestine network they've set up, from Gaza to Lebanon to Syria to Yemen and Iraq.
You had Rouhani from Iran come out and say, this deal is non-negotiable. You had Khomeini, understood, he's a religious leader. He is prone more towards extreme views. He says that the president is speaking out of desperation and anger. The central focus is, I hear everything you said about what Iran is doing, and we've heard it from others as well. That is not what this deal was about. As you well know, this was about controlling, containing as best you can, looking at the missile program, the nuclear development program. Why mess with that deal in the interest of these outside issues?
Well, I think the main reason is the deal is fundamentally flawed. I mean, as the president said, he called it the worst deal of all time. It gave the Iranian regime all the benefits up front. And then the incompleteness of the deal, the flaws of the deal, the sunset clause that could really give this regime, who's not trustworthy, obviously, cover to advance a nuclear program and then have this threshold capability.
So I think it's total BS. I think that Iran cannot pose any threat, not even with nuclear weapons. Israel has nuclear weapons. But the question is how to prevent this third Jesuit World War. And if we cannot prevent it, then it's better to be prepared. Because these fuckers want us all to die. The Jesuits and Masons depopulating Earth. I mean, not necessarily Mr. McMaster. The National Security Advisor. So let's read the article as well.
Washington, CNN National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster called the Iran deal fundamentally flawed Thursday, adding that the White House is concerned with what to do about Iran's destabilizing behavior. In an interview with CNN's Chris Cuomo on New Day, McMaster, who was speaking right before President Donald Trump announced that he plans to unveil new sanctions on North Korea, also said the U.S. has options in dealing with the rogue regime. It gave the Iranian regime all the benefits up front, he said, and then the incompleteness of the deal, which really could give the regime cover to advance a nuclear program. He said Trump is looking at the entire situation in Iran, not just its nuclear program, when deciding on a deal. We've taken a holistic look at this, McMaster said. What's different about the president's approach is he didn't just look at the Iran deal, he placed his decision on the Iran deal on broad context of how we protect American citizens, American interests, how we protect our allies and partners from Iran's broad range of destabilizing behavior. McMaster pointed to Iran's efforts to perpetuate violence across the Middle East, boost the Assad regime in Syria and support terrorist organizations. He added, I know what the decision is, but when the president reveals that, when he talks about it, he'll place it in context of the broader approach to Iran. Trump said Wednesday he has decided how he is going to proceed on the Iran nuclear deal struck by the Obama administration that he has long.
So, I'm also actually really wondering if people have become retarded. The New York Times also made these grammatical errors. Of course, they can also do it with synthetic telepathy. So, and perhaps they do it deliberately. He'll place it context of the broader approach to Iran. Perhaps that's correct.
Derided. Well, I have decided, Trump told reporters who pressed him for an answer before they were escorted out of his meeting with Mahmoud Abbas, the president of the Palestinian Authority. Trump, however, declined to disclose his decision, teasing to a future date. I'll let you know what the decision is, Trump said, smiling. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson emphasized Wednesday that the U.S. is asking its allies to factor Iran's broader activities, not just its nuclear program, in considering additional sanctions against the longtime U.S. foe. We also have been making the case to our allies that you share our concern about Iran's behavior. We believe they're now looking more carefully and seriously at that as a means to push back on this other behavior of Iran's that they agree with us is just simply unacceptable, he said. McMaster, Rocket Man was an accurate term. Trump signs executive order on North Korea Rep. Comer, Graham Cassidy needs CBO score Kimmel, the senator lied to my face HR. McMaster and number 39 S full New Day interview McMaster, and number 39 Rocket Man and number 39, was an accurate term McMaster. Iran deal fundamentally flawed. Facebook to hand over Russian ads to Congress. Sean Spicer Doessen and number 39 T think he lied as press secretary Trump and number 39 S new North Korea sanctions, full speech, Green Berets explain why they fought, and number 39 send me and number 39, inside a secret mission to kill Taliban chief Trump, do business with North Korea. Lose with U.S. Trump signs executive order on North Korea Rep. Comer, Graham Cassidy needs CBO score Kimmel. Trump says additional sanctions coming against North Korea. Trump delivered a doomsday warning to North Korea in his UN address on Tuesday and mocked its young leader. He warned the U.S. would totally destroy North Korea if forced to defend itself or its allies, adding that while the U.S. has great strength and patience, its options could soon run out. Asked Thursday whether he was planning to announce new sanctions on North Korea, Trump told reporters yes but did not provide additional details. He is due to make the announcement during a working lunch later Thursday with the leaders of South Korea and Japan.
So perhaps they don't want to preserve the infrastructure. It sucks anyway. So, now Iran hasn't attacked any foreign country in a long time, and the US has attacked many countries. But you all have to make your own conclusions upon the information that you have. So basically, I think they're really serious about global government and the world order. Or not. Then. Okay. Well, would you like to add anything about to this broadcast about... No? Why not?
Well, I think enough has been said.
Too much, perhaps, already.
Or might say that. So
Well,
then it would boil down to the question, which parts of it do you have to take away?
of the Iran nuclear deal?
Which parts
Or what has been said?
of the broadcast which was kind of overdone?
Yeah. So basically YouTube could make a system where the viewers can decide to take away certain parts of the broadcast if there are enough viewers to do that, basically. Like the George Soros petition of the White House.
But the question is of if the systems provides for taking away parts of the broadcast and then rebroadcasting it in changed form, following the opinion of the viewers. I don't think we have a lot of examples for that. Centipede in her panties. Is desert tiger centipede.
Yeah, this is an interesting petition that I found. It has enough signatories to get a response from the White House. But I have to first check something else.
Declare George Soros a terrorist and seize all of his related organizations' assets under RICO and the law created by I.A.E.A. on August 20, 2017. Sign this petition. Needs 0 signatures by September 19, 2017 to get a response from the White House. 147,984 signed. 100,000 goal. Whereas George Soros has willfully and on an ongoing basis attempted to destabilize and otherwise commit acts of sedition against the United States and its citizens, has created and funded dozens, and probably hundreds, of discrete organizations whose sole purpose is to apply Alinsky model terrorist tactics to facilitate the collapse of the systems and constitutional government of the United States, and has developed unhealthy and undue influence over the entire Democrat Party and a large portion of the U.S. federal government. The Dodge should immediately declare George Soros and all of his organizations and staff members to be domestic terrorists, and have all of his personal and organizational wealth and assets seized under civil asset forfeiture law. The Dodge should immediately declare George Soros and all of his organizations and staff members to be domestic terrorists, and have all of his personal and organizational wealth and assets seized under civil asset forfeiture law. Declare George Soros a terrorist and seize all of his related organizations' assets under RICO and the law. Petitions.whitehouse.gov. Needs 0 signatures by September 19, 2017 to get a response from the White House. 147,984 signed. Popular petitions foreign policy government and regulatory reform immediately release Donald Trump's full tax returns, with all information needed to verify emoluments clause compliance. 1,102,985 signed 100,000 goal. Sign it immediately release Donald Trump's full tax returns, with all information needed to verify emoluments clause compliance. Government and regulatory reform divest or put in a blind trust all of the president's business and financial assets 354,385 signed 100,000 goal. Sign it divest or put in a blind trust all of the president's business and financial assets. Homeland Security and Defense formally recognize Antifa as a terrorist organization 351,908 signed 100,000 goal. Sign it formally recognize Antifa as a terrorist organization. Foreign policy government and regulatory reform gun violence repeal the NFA 279,414 signed 100,000 goal. Sign it.
So on whitehouse.gov, they immediately released Donald Trump's full tax returns with all information needed to verify emoluments clause compliance. Has over 1 million signatories. And second is this one, quite a number of signatories. Divest or put in a blind trust all of the president's business and financial assets, with 354,000 signatories, and formally recognized Antifa as a terrorist organization also has 351,908 signatories. So the White House will have to respond to these petitions, but that's quite easy to do. That won't change anything, will it? Anyway, I think that's about all for this broadcast for now. Please like and subscribe. Be sure to check my channel for other videos. Stuff that they really don't want you to know about their depopulation, and people that want to depopulate you are your enemy. And they would pretend they're not, basically. The satanic inversion is all covered in my previous broadcasts. So, have a good one, be prepared, stay vigilant, recovery begins with non-compliance. I temporarily halt this broadcast for universal peace.